Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Cardcraft. Thanks for joining me again today. Playing around with dies again today. Well, a little bit. What I want to use is one of my tag dies again. Playing around, I love, as you know, my tags. I love my dies. Love my book paper. So, want to use a bit more of each again. This time I'm using a Uniquely Creative die. It's an Australian company. Tags, Tops and Tails is the die that I'm using. Code is UCD1935. It's one of my favourite little die. And it comes with all of these inside it. But it comes with shaped tags. So not just our normal little V's. And I've just thought, as I've done that, I've actually pulled the die that I want out. There he is. That's the next size down. So you've got these lovely shaped tops. Now you can do this with just without a die if you want. And just cut them. I want to use the large one. Right, so I've got a piece of scrapbook paper so that I've got double-sided. The piece that I've cut is literally just the size, the width of my die. So we're looking around about 3 inches. But it'll depend on the die that you've got or what shape that you want. So all I'm going to do is fold this so that this die will fit on here. I could just fold it in half, but let's face it, that would just be too easy. Am I in shot? Yep, that will fit this die. So, just going to fold this down, give him a crease. Nice and crisp. Okay, nice, crisp. Nice, crisp, crisp. Sitting my die on here. If I turn this over, what I want to do is put this crease of my scrapbook paper just above the little cut edge of the die. So when you're using your dies, these are the little thin ones, which are what the majority of them are these days. See how they have a little ridge here? That is the cutting section of your die. So all that tiny little ridge is, that's where your die is going to cut. I don't want to cut where I folded, okay? So what I'm going to do is sit my die on here, but I don't know if I can pull it up a little bit higher. See how I've got that crease just above that ripple section in that, so that it's not actually on the cutting piece of your die. And I'm going to run that through my Big Shot machine, which amazingly I actually have here beside me today. Now I have a magnetic mat on, which means that if I sit my die on here, it'll magnetise on the bottom of it and it won't move. If you don't, that's fine. I still will, with this one, when I sit this on here, I'll go this way so that I can see where I'm going. You're in shot there, yes. Just above, leaving the die just above that crease, I will still put just a little bit of washi tape. If I can find some, hang on a moment. Oh, stretch out over there. All right, just a little bit of washi tape to hold that paper in place, just so that it doesn't go on the cut section of the die. Okay, so it's holding my paper and onto the mat of the die cutting machine. Sitting it down, run it through. Now that's one pass. It will probably only need one pass, but because it's easier to pull out from my machine front ways, I'll just run it back. Right. There's my scrap. There's my cut die shape now. So what I'm going to do is sit that to the side, move my die cutting machine out of the way, Oh, because they're heavy and bulky and cumbersome. Take off my washi tape that was holding it down on the die, the bin, and what I've got now is a tag that opens like that with the cut shape. Now if you haven't got a die cutting machine, that's fine. Get your paper, fold it in half at the bottom, and then just cut it into tag shapes at the top. I'm just a bit lazy, and I also like all of this section across the top. Right, very quickly, I just give it some oomph, because you know that I always do that. Just lifts all that up. And the other side. What I want is a tag in my journal to just sit in a pocket. But what I want it is for secret journaling. You know me, I love to have all that extra journaling. So I'm going to make a concertina inside here with my spare book paper. So, old book. Now, I want something with writing all the way across it, so that's a no-go. Now, this is not an old book. That one's ripped. This is not an old book, it's just an old. It's a Tesco, it's in one called Keepsake. But, as you can see, I use it for all sorts of bits and pieces. What I'm looking for is pages that are full pages, not part pages, because I want that writing. So I just want 2 of those. You could do this as big or as small as you like. I've got 2 of those. I want the writing part, and I want to create them into pockets. So I'm just going to fold this one over so that it's showing a little bit of writing. So when I fold that way, you'll see that I've got a little bit here. And then I'm going to fold this so that it finishes just past the writing on that side. If you're uncertain, you can always set it on your grid, measure and mark that you're keeping it nice and straight. Same with your other sheet. What you want to do though is to make sure that both these sheets end up the same size. Now that's nowhere near even. I can see that from there. So if I go back to this one again, what I want to make sure now is that these sheets end up the same width. So you can see that's fairly good. I just take it in just a little bit. That should just about have it. Let's have a look. Pretty good. Pretty good. Right, I'm going to trim that excess off. And I'll just do that with my ruler and a blade. You can use your trimmer, whatever makes you more comfortable in trimming these off. Scissors if you want. There's one. Do the same with this one. Okay, straight down there. And what we're going to do is glue this just to make that pocket. So it's a tube more or less all the way through. Now I also tend to not want that amount. Because they're only a small tube, I don't want that much bulk in there. What I'm doing now, so here's my fold line. What I'm doing is just trimming that back a little bit so that I've only got that amount sitting there instead of that amount. That's just a personal thing. Don't feel you definitely need to do that. That's just me trying to get rid of the bulk a little bit. My journals always tend to be very bulky anyway, so if I can find areas to get rid of some of that bulk, I will. So just my standard glue now, so I'm just using my normal wet glue. I have got my cloth. Alright, sit you on some scrap there. making sure mostly that you're close to the line. You can use your glue stick, you can use double-sided tape. Tape? I know what I mean. Good amount of glue. Holding that one back over. And gluing those two down. Like so. So that now what we've got is that tube. Okay, do the same with your other side. Try not to go over the fold line. Alright. Same with this one. Fold him over. Yep. One side should just fold back on itself. There we go. 2 tubes. Right. Yeah. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold these in half so that they fit my tag shape. That's the other reason that I've used this size book, because I need them the same size as my tag. So I don't want to make a huge long tag that I then can't find a book that's going to make these pockets. You'll see why I need that in a moment. So if you look up here, I'm trying to get at my words so that they're about the same size. Let's just have a look. If I put that down into there, that's going to fit that, and I'll take it a little bit further up from the words. So see how I've joined the starting of the words here to the ending of the words down there. That's just a me thing. Okay. Do the same with the other one. You can put as many of these little pockets in there as you like. Joining my words up. Alright. So now what I've got is this, and you'll see these are not even, because there's usually more of a border at the top than there is at the bottom of your books. So that's why I've joined them at my words and not just at each edge. I sit those in there. You can see that they're too high. I want to trim them off, but I don't want to make them too small. So if I go down to where that bottom border is, if you're worried with your height, you can sit them down like so and just cut all the way through. If you're worried about them, do them one at a time. So if I set that here, use your grid so that I know I'm going nice and straight. At this stage, I'm just going to go about there, because I know this is the smaller one anyway. So now I'm committed to that size. Still happy with that. Double check on this one. Mark it so that they all end up the same size. Sit it on. Put your pencil mark. Or as I said before, you could cut them all together. I'm a bit of a wuss. I'm not going to cut them all together because I know... Sorry, was that just my hair? I know all I'm going to do is get them everywhere. So it was about that line. Let's see how we go. How's that? Yep. Alright. Rub out that pencil line. And what I want to do with these is... I've got a punch here somewhere. There we go. They didn't need to be cut down anywhere near as short, Kylie. That's alright. Watch. A punch. Find your centre line, maybe. What have we got? It's around about 6 inches. What I want to do is turn that around that way. Around about 6 inches. Around about 6 centimetres. It's easier to work out in smaller numbers. Do one at a time. Set this over. Around about centre. My punch is not going to go through all of them. That's why I just did it with that. That's already 4 layers. What I'll do now, set that on. Use my pencil. Mark this one. Look. Set them on. Mark this one. Mark that one. And then I can line that punch up to those pencil marks. Keeping my fingers, tongue, eyes, etc. crossed. Right. Now, get rid of that. What I didn't do was put the lid on the globe. Did nobody remind me to put the lid back on the globe? Yucky. Right. And what we're going to do, one in here, one in there, and in hindsight I should have folded them over like that before I cut them, but that's alright. So you know when we all make our little concertina, not concertina, I don't know what they're called, done them before, we've done larger ones, and they just are little file things and they fold out and we can put our embellishments in or whatever else. What this is a smaller version in a tag. So, if I set that there, what I want to do with this is, now, normally when we make these, we'll use our glue sticks. If you haven't made one before, it'll all become apparent in a minute. So, 3. We'll use our glue sticks up the centre. Because this is such a narrow little one, the glue stick's going to be way too wide to give the effect. So I'm going to use my normal wet white glue, which has just got a fine tip to it. And I'm going to go that one and that one. And I also need this back section. So all I'm doing is making a mark round about halfway so that I've got a vague line to follow. So if I open this out, okay, I should have a line in here. There it is. I know it's very faint. I can see it. So if you look up there, I've got a pencil line here and a pencil line there so that I can see that I've got a halfway line. And all I'm going to do with this is run just a strip of glue. Doesn't need to be too... Oh, now the whole glue is not going to work because it was running out everywhere, wasn't it? There it is. Alright. Joining my pencil lines, there's the other one. Right up to the top. Make it a, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch, couple of mil. Alright, so if I bring that up, you can see just my small line of glue. Setting it back on here. All nicely lined up. Press that down. Okay. Going to the next one. Doing the same, finding my pencil lines. Running up that glue. Folding it over. Keeping them all nicely together. Gluing that down. Same with the next one. Up through there. Folding it over. Gluing it down. Just like so. So what we've created is one of these little books. Alright, we've all seen them in the bigger versions. So here's a smaller one. What we're going to do is attach it to the inside of our tag. So here's our tag. You pull it out from your journal and it'll open like so. So, one line. We've already done our centre line. Somewhere in the centre. Right, so I'm just holding it right close to that centre bit, hoping that it's nicely straight, giving that a push. And then all we've got left is this one. So we've already done our little line for our glue, our little pencil markings. Straight down. Folding it back over. Give that a push, leave it to settle for a little bit, and then all you've got left, I'm just trying to put the lid on that glue from a distance. Not going to happen. There it is. Alright, so when there's our tag, sitting in our journal. Have a look. Same journal, because you can see I haven't done much. I did do a page today. Let me have a look. Hang on, where I was working on a page, but I just know that there's a pocket. Alright, so page, pocket sitting there. Let's face it, I'd do a smaller page for something this size. And there's my tag, so I can have ribbons on it, etc. Take your tag out, and you've got that. So let's very quickly decorate our tag and give it the full workings. So here's our tag. Let's make, I don't know, a cluster type thing to go on the front. So what I want is, I'll pull out my shapes. These are my cluster bases, as I call them. They're just all odd shapes and all the rest that have been just die cut shapes. So let's have a look. I want an oval. There's an oval. An oval. See, I wouldn't use that in a pig fit, but it will work as a cluster base. Lost both those fingernails, so I can't pick anything up. Sorry. Scissors. Just trim off all these excess bits where they've been punched out of paper pads or packs, etc. Right. You know me, I'm not going to work in white. Even though this has got a white base, the rest of mine, I want to work as the normal, as my normal colours. So, a little bit of antique linen, just rough around it. Now, for detail in all of these sorts of things, go back to one of my previous videos last week, week before, where I showed you how to make new ephemera look old. So now I've jumped into a bit of brushed corduroy, and I'm just, again, blotchy, because I want it as a background. Okay, so a little bit of something dark, like a coffee, that around the edges, which will just soften up my edges as well, and give me a backing for a stamp. Whoop. Let's have a look. Put that coffee away. Just wipe that up a little bit, and now I pulled out a selection of stamps a while ago to do this. Right, I want numbers and bits and all the rest. So this is just just numbers, just a clear stamp. What I'll do, set that block on it, but because this is in black, I might stamp in black today. So there's my black. I'll need something underneath that because it's going to go past it all. Bring this one back over here. Back onto this one. Now, if I look at my tag, if I set this so it's not dead smack, something here, a little bit there, a little bit in there, like a normal cluster, but I want my writing to go straight. So I set all these straight on my, so that my work surface is straight. And that's the way I want it. It's going to be on that sort of an angle. Yes, I could put it in a MISTI or, you know, a stamping platform of some sort, but I find for little bits and pieces like this, it's just as easy just to work with my block in front of me. Making sure it's up the right way always helps. Now, as you can see with this stamp, it's just a patchy stamp anyway, which is the sort of look that I like. Over and above, just a little bit. Just, I don't mind if it's not fully done, like that. And then, of course, I'll need to do a little bit more. Just down, matching that up. So, about there. I'm going for an angle so that my head's not directly over it. Let's have a look. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Right. Just pop the lid on that one. So that's that one all done. I do want, I'm going to use gathered twigs now just to go around that to give that a really deeper, grungier looking edge. Just so that it matches up with all that. Right, that's got to sit here like that so that my numbers are still vertical is the word that I want. Right, so what else would I like on that? I've got a selection of just odds, deep, dark, coffee dyed paper. I've got so much glue hanging off me, it's not funny. So let's have a look. Something torn in there. I'll go that direction actually, and I'll give that a full torn look. What about like that? That way will actually go round there, won't it? How's that? Yep, I like that. Just for a bit of grunge. Bit of writing, bit of wording. I've been in a real numbers thing, as you can see with that pocket that I did today. I've got sitting over here. Let's have a look. Oops. That. A bit of scripty from there with some bits and bobs on it, which will tie it all in together. I don't need that there. So I just want a little bit of this. Move that out of the way. Move my tag now to the side. That's going in that sort of angle. And if I just put something like that on there. So this is this really large stamp that I got from Crafted by Ali, from memory. That doesn't fit any of my blocks, but I don't use the whole thing. So I want somewhere in the middle of that. So I'm just going to sit that there, like so. Okay, because then when I stamp it, I want something with all this in here, I'm thinking. So I'm just going to move you over, and I'll ink up that section in the middle, somewhere around there. Again, don't want too much ink because I want it faded in and out a little bit. So this will be a very light stamping, and hopefully it'll come out a little bit About there, wasn't it? Just sit you on. So I want it. Yeah. See how I didn't push right down? So I just wanted this faded in and out effect. So it's there, but it's not there. I will clean up all these blocks later on, I promise. Sit you that one, that side. So let's have a look now. This is sitting here. That one's like that. It's in there like that. Yes, no, yes. Give that a bit of a grunge around there as well, so it looks really grungy. Like so. Now, I reckon if I stick that one down, I know what I'm doing. It's not going to move on me. Oh, that pink. Alright, here we go. How much glue's coming out of there, guys? Right. So, that's that one. Down like so. And we might stick that one down now, and then I might go over the top with something else as well. Got to pull out a small little bingo card. Might use that one. Just in a stamp. And some more of this small scraps of my coffee dyed paper. So it's in and around that circle from the hole punch at the top of the tag. Right, there. Let's have a look. As I said, I pulled out one of these, so we might have a look at that one. That one. I love all these little bits. I've just got a file holder thing sitting in front of me with just all my little bits as I'm working, and I clean up the desk and I chuck them in there. And there's always some wonderful little bits and bobs from them. So I'll need just a little one. Are you going to fit on there? Yes, you are. Look at that. In there so I can get some of that splatter. Right. Again, we're just going to stick with the black, not changing ink colours. Doesn't matter which way it goes up because I'm going to cut around it, don't I? Where's that splatter? Just there. Yeah. See how it's got that splatter in there? This is from, I don't know. I don't know whether I've done it when I've been coffee dyeing or whether it's from something else later on. But it's nice to come across little ones like that. Alright. Just going to trim it out so that it's a little bit larger than the black. Let's have a look. Right. So needs something. What about opening drawers, cheesecloth, little bits of cheesecloth always sitting around, and very gluey fingers, which means it's sticking to said gluey fingers. Large scissors. My small scissors won't cut the cheesecloth anymore. Alright. Stretch that out. I might reshape that in a minute. Let's faded that down a little bit more. Something else on there. I don't want treasure. I've got, but it needs some colour. It really needs some colour, doesn't it? Alright, let's have a look. Got my glasses on too high up, which means that my reading glasses, when I look ahead of me, I can't see anything. This one, I think. Just bear with me. The greens or the pinks in those. And these are just the number strips from Tim Holtz. But No, that's not going to work. That might work. Or do I just go that green? Is that green going to be bright enough with just a number? I quite like just that green. What other colours has he got in those? Nothing. They're all really light colours, which normally they would be the only ones I ever use. Oh, here we go. I like the pink. Let's go the pink, which was the first colour I thought of. And we'll edge that. This is still just that really dark gathered twigs that I'm edging that in. And I'm just going to glue that on there before I think of what else I want to do on that. So, just a little bit down there. And I'll adhere that one, which covers up that other treasure, but that's fine. I don't need 2 treasures, so I'm happy with any treasure. Don't necessarily need 2. I haven't edged that one. I probably should. Probably won't make any difference. Alright, so if I've got this on here, still black cotton. And I'll do a bit of black cotton. And I had that out. I was hand stitching. Hang on, in the drawer. Black. There we go. So, bit of black. Oh, I've got so much glue all over me. Bit of black cotton. Right. Cut that. So I told you these scissors don't cut cotton or fabric or anything like that. I quite like it when I get a knot in them. Sometimes it happens. Let's have a look. Set that there. How's that? I like that. I actually quite like that. So, because I've got so much fabric type thing in there and ups and downs, what I'm actually going to use to start with, if I just zip that up, is some double-sided tape on that. I tend to revert back to my double-sided tape each time when I've got cheesecloth or cotton under there, because it'll hold it all in place while I then adhere it on. So I'll just lift that one. Oh, I've got that glue everywhere, haven't I? Don't need any glue or tape on that one at the moment, because I'll put my normal glue on those. I'll just trim that off. Only needs that couple. And to adhere it on, take the backing off that. So they're all just sitting there, the cheesecloth and that thread. So now I can work out where I want that guy, like that. Just very lightly. I'm just pushing that on. Now watch. That's all picked up with it in the place that I actually wanted them to be. I'm just going to push that down. Now I can just use my normal glue all over the back of that and on that one. You could use your fabric glue if you want, but let's face it, this one was already sitting out on my desk, so it'll hold it all. And I don't have to worry about doing them individually. They're all sitting there in the space that I wanted them in. Now I just got to remember where I want it. Like so. Push that down. How's that? Right, how's that for a quick different tag? So you've got your tag. I've put nothing down there because that would be in my pocket. So let's pull that bit out again. Where was it? As I said, I'd had a numbers day today. This whole thing was collaged just from number stamps. So I'll move that because that's as far as I got with inside it. And this was at a girls' day. crop days as such. And that was all I did for my 6 hours, because it's more of a social event, let's face it. So, right, nothing down there, which means that it sits in there. Of course, it wouldn't go into this one. I would more than likely have, this is the biggest page in this journal, I would more than likely have it in this sort of size page, not this one. Sits in here like this. There's your tag. You can pop your ribbon on there, either through both of them or just the one. You pull it out, and then you can have all these little tabs and tags and goodies and secret little journaling spots in there. How's that? I hope you've liked that one. Look at that. We've done it in 40 minutes because I knew what I wanted. I'd worked it all out and all the rest. So that helps, doesn't it? Thank you all for joining me for this one today. I hope you've enjoyed this little tag. It will go into the playlists of tags. Do have a look at some of the other ones. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Don't forget to hit that like button. Do comment. I do get back to them. Takes me a little while sometimes, but I do get back to you, I promise. Thanks, guys. Till next time. Happy crafting. Bye.